Hello and welcome, friends, fans, or anyone else interested in Jund Dinos. Now, this being the first episode, I'll go a little more in depth with the deck tech just to give you a pretty good feel before we jump into the gameplay. As always, the list will be in the description, and if you enjoy the video, please consider leaving a like. Now let's get into it. Starting off, of course, Commune with Dinosaurs. Fantastic as always, but becomes a little bit more valuable when adding that third color just in case you need to dig for it. Consistency wise, this deck is splashing quite lightly for black, so it's really not too noticeable. Despair sometimes could be a little clunky. You really need that black to cast it, but otherwise Rotting Regisaur is very easy to cast with Unclaimed Territory, Ancient Ziggurat, and of course Drover of the Mighty, and then the duels as well. So you usually should have no trouble at all casting Rotting Regisaur for sure. That's the main reason we are going into black. And then you've got Primal Might, always fantastic no matter who you're facing, but becomes a little more valuable, a little better I think in this variation because Rotting Regisaur is a fantastic fight target. Chances are you don't have to invest anything in X to take out the target. Just that fact alone is pretty great. And then the standard suite of 2-drops that I like. Drover again helping with that third color. And then we got Otepec Huntmaster. Now, you may want to take them out game 2 and 3 if you do bring in Flame Sweep. If you're not running Flame Sweep, of course, keep them in, but at times I have taken out a few just because it is 2 toughness, so that's something to keep in mind if you're playing best of 3. Marauding Raptor, as always, fantastic, 4 of all the time. I'd probably never board him out. It's one of the key cards, as always. Then, of course, Rotting Regisaur, fantastic. Now, some of the drawbacks are mitigated. It does suck discarding a card, but something like Driven and Despair is pretty nice, especially with Aftermath. It's really no drawback at all if that's the card you're discarding. So that's a neat little interaction. Adding even more Aftermath cards is possible. Claim and Fame could be fairly decent. We do have 12 2-drops here, so that's definitely a possibility, but yeah, certainly keep Aftermath cards in mind for Rotting Regisaur to really have no drawback at all, pretty much. It could work into the plan, actually, so that's pretty great. And then Ripjaw Raptor. As always, he is doing fantastic work. Great blocker, attacker, drawing you a bunch of cards. It's just what you want to be doing. Standard, something I'd probably always use in any variation that has green. Of course, with Marauding Raptor, probably these two are the most key. Maybe Otepec Huntmaster as well. Those 3 cards especially are the bread and butter, certainly the core that I don't see myself ever changing. So if you're not using Ripjaw especially, I'd say give it a go. Then we got Regisaur Alpha to keep things moving fast. That's the name of the game. We want to go as fast as we can, and that helps for sure, especially Ghalta Primal Hunger. You want to get a swing off with her the turn she comes down, because if you don't, chances are the opponent's going to answer that. Definitely. They don't want to get hit with it because it'll probably decide the game right there. And then for the lands, it's pretty standard to what I like. Consistent. Unclaimed Territory does fantastic work, but I think it's a little more important here. Just bringing in Rotting Regisaur does help cast anything. Ripjaw is double green, so Unclaimed Territory really is great with that. Then you got some Overgrown Tomb, Woodland Cemetery. I felt pretty comfortable with 4 Overgrown Tomb and 2 Woodland Cemetery along with Unclaimed and an Ancient Ziggurat, because again we do have Drover of the Mighty to help smooth things out. Overall, it's been quite consistent so far. I don't see myself making too many more changes to the mana base, but you could certainly add a swamp, or a couple others, maybe some other dual lands, but it's been pretty fantastic overall. Alright, and then on to the sideboard, featuring some of my all-time favorite dinos. Shifting Ceratops for mono blue, Azorius control, that sort of matchup. Overall, it's just a fantastic creature. It does all the things we're looking for. If you're not using it already, definitely consider it. Deathgorge Scavenger for anything graveyard related. Can grow pretty big if you're attacking with it the turn you play it. Could be swinging as a 5/4, maybe he played it for 1 green, that's pretty great. But again, it does get some life gain and makes use out of our own graveyard if, that situation arises. Rampaging Ferocidon, as always, it should be in the 75 for sure. You could have it main board, so you're not blowing out game 1 against anything life gain related, something with a lot of tokens. I would never have it out of the list, out of the 75. It's always going to be in there no matter what. It just does so much work and helps give an edge against quite a few decks where otherwise it would just be a blowout. And then Flame Sweep against aggro, that sort of thing. Just fantastic, as always. You could add some artifact enchantment removal in here, but I think this right here does cover quite a few decks, quite a bit of ground for sure. I've been happy with it. And then one of the cards I've been most impressed with is, of course, Driven and Despair. I've looked to use it in some capacity, but it's been all-star for sure, quite a few times. Otepec Huntmaster, there's been times where I've had him and just a Drover. Doesn't seem very good, but cast Driven and Despair, swing with him, and maybe you hit with both, so you're drawing 2 cards, the opponent's discarding 2. It's pretty fantastic that way, and it's worked out even better than I expected, and definitely is important getting trample on big guys like Rotting Regisaur and sometimes Marauding Raptor. So Driven and Despair, definitely put it on your radar. Give it a go. Alright, now it's time to jump into some gameplay. Whew, alright, here we go. Yeah, that is fantastic on the play. It's just about basically the perfect hand that we could be wanting. We got a lot of options, but of course we'll go turn 2 Otepec, and then turn 3 Marauding, possibly Ripjaw, see if they answer anything, see what they play. But yeah, that's fantastic. I couldn't ask for a much better hand. Oh, they got a mulligan, looking good for us. I think game 2 or 3, if I know they're on something like Burn, something that's going to have some sort of removal, I may play Marauding Raptor on turn 2 and just leave Otepec in hand, because they could have a shock, something like that. There's a better chance of Marauding Raptor sticking around sometimes, even if you don't play Otepec first. Like it is optimal to do that, but sometimes it just may be better to play Marauding Raptor even if you have Otepec Huntmaster in hand, based on what the opponent has. Looks like it might be mono blue something. That'll be pretty good. We'll bring in Shifting Ceratops game 2 and 3 for sure. Ooh, Simic something. Yeah, definitely Shifting Ceratops should be pretty good. Oh, and then we got Primal Might. Fantastic. I think definitely I want to go Ripjaw just to maximize the mana for the turn, draw a card. What's not to love about that? 2 green for a 4/5, draw a card. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, lovely. Another Ripjaw. Still no idea what they're playing. Could be random Simic good stuff. Now with Jund, because it is such a light splash, you won't see too much difference from maybe a normal Gruul sort of list, but overall you do have the option of adding more black stuff. Thoughtseize again. It's just fantastic having that 7/6. Pretty hard to deal with, but looks like we got game 1 locked up. Let's see how we do game 2. Alright, like I said, bringing in Shifting Ceratops. I don't feel I need to bring in anything else, but we still want to go pretty fast. I think there's not a whole lot of things to fight, so I'll take out 3 Primal Mights just to make room for Shifting. But yeah, I just didn't get a real good idea of what the opponent's playing. Ooh, yeah, that's not going to do it. Still pretty rough. I mean, chances are we'll get that 4th land. We're on the draw, so probably get to Shifting, but I still want to be a little bit faster, so we'll try one more. Yeah. Nope. Nope, that's not going to do it. Oh goodness. Okay, well, we're keeping that. Oh boy, yeah. This will be rough. Yeah, so I think I definitely should have kept that one with Shifting Ceratops, 3 lands. Probably would have worked out a little bit better. But we can make this work, we'll see. Seemed like they were pretty slow, whatever they were doing. Game 1, maybe they just had a bad draw, but I feel like we'll have some time to build up the board, and yeah. Should go pretty good. Come on, ooh, that's not a 2-drop. That's okay. It's alright. Still a good chance we'll get to that 4th land, be able to play Ripjaw. Definitely not great starting hand. Ooh, okay. Yeah, we gotta do a land for sure. Oh, okay, so it's Neostorm. Alright, so we're gonna bring in Flame Sweep and Rampaging Ferocidon for game 3. That's definitely gonna help. Both of those. Killing the Seagate Stormcaller while its trigger is on the stack really shuts down this deck's whole plan. So feel pretty good game 3. Let's get into it. Take out Primal Might and all the Ghaltas. Wasn't a whole lot. We really got to stop that, stop the combo if we can. So, yeah, definitely all about stopping it. We'll bring some Primal Mights in actually, just in case we need to take out a target before they assemble. Maybe Paradise Druid if it's tapped, something like that. That could hopefully help slow things down. Oh, all right, yeah. I think we definitely want to go for that. Hopefully they stumble a bit, but that's pretty great starting hand. Ripjaw should hopefully get us to Rampaging Ferocidon, possibly, or Flame Sweep. Either one would be pretty great. All right, hopefully they don't go off this turn. Definitely feels like they might, but we do have Rampaging Ferocidon, so they can only play 6 creatures, or 4 creatures now, and they die, unless they can answer Rampaging Ferocidon. Ooh, lovely, lovely. Yeah, you just get them low enough, and basically they can't do anything. So, ooh, nice. Yeah, it is. Seems like they didn't know what Rampaging Ferocidon does. And that locked in the win for us. Getting them pretty low. If they weren't really low at all, they probably could get in 10, 12 creatures, but getting them low enough doesn't matter. If they go off with Rampaging Ferocidon, they die, like you see. Wonderful. You didn't really see a whole lot of the black. Again, it is a light splash for Rotting and Driven Despair, but overall, I love it. I may add a little bit more black, but I'll keep the list the same for the next couple games that we play here. Yeah, I think actually we could make that work pretty good. We got turn 1 Commune to get that second land. Lots of plays, lots of 2-drops. So I think that should be pretty good. Oh, perfect. Rootbound Crag. Yeah, that's going to work out for us. Just a little example of how you can make one land hand work out where most decks really wouldn't be able to take that kind of risk. Hopefully we get another land next turn. Even if we don't, we have Ripjaw Raptor, so that's gonna... Oh, okay. Well, works out. Look like some sort of Dimir something. Hard to say really, but bring in Shifting Ceratops just to see how we do. Take out Ghalta. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Just didn't really get a good feel of what they're trying to do, so hopefully we get that information this game, or win, either or. Yeah, we can definitely make that work as well. Commune should be able to dig for something that gives us red or Unclaimed Territory. All right, let's go. Ooh, perfect. We do have good sources of black, so yeah, I think I'm happy sticking with Stomping Ground. Oops. Okay, never mind. Little bit of a misplay. That's all right. We use Driven. Yeah, should work out fine. Probably block with both anyways, but then we have Despair in the graveyard that we can cast next turn after playing a Rotting Regisaur. Yeah, Despair's going to be better next turn, likely. Getting it on both of my guys. Yeah, just a lot of big power. Pretty hard for them to deal with. Looks like they'll have to do something pretty drastic. And there we go. There's a win. We got a whole lot of power on the board pretty quick, and the opponent just couldn't deal with it. Good stuff. Oh, yeah, that's definitely not what we want to see. Oh, think that'll be quite a bit better. Get rid of Ghalta, unfortunately. Hopefully, Commune with Dinosaurs does grab a Marauding Raptor, but yeah, it's still looking alright. Make it work. Okay, Boros something, hard to say. We did get Drover, which is nice, and Marauding Raptor, so that's yeah, that's perfect. That's what we want to see. Hopefully we can get a Ripjaw out pretty quick. Looks like that'll be quite beneficial. Could go to Drover next turn, but I feel like Ripjaw would be quite nice. Looks like they're doing something sort of aggressive. Maybe hammer time, something like that. Alright, so it just looks like Boros Aggro. Flame Sweep's going to be pretty fantastic. Game 2 and 3 for sure. Alright, that's going to deter quite a bit. Get another Ripjaw out probably next turn. It's alright. 2 for 1. Make it work. Should be pretty good getting Regisaur Alpha. It's going to be pretty hard for them to deal with, I think. Just got guys a little bit too big. They got guys too small. It's working out. But yeah, definitely Flame Sweep. As you can see, they all got 2 toughness, 1 toughness. That's going to be pretty great. Take out Ghalta. We really want to be going pretty fast. Driven in Despair as well. One of them. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty good. We'll prioritize Flame Sweep hopefully in our hand, and that should really do some damage to him. It's looking pretty good. I think we'll just keep it at that's it's quite a good hand. I'm happy to see that. Would have been nice, of course, to have a Flame Sweep, but oh, Marauding now. Okay, that's good. Fantastic. Cross our fingers, Otepec lives. I feel it's probably gonna eat some sort of removal. Hopefully they don't get rid of Marauding. Drover of the Mighty would be pretty good for blocking. Authority of the Consuls. Okay, so a little bit of life gain going on. Probably bring in Rampaging Ferocidon for game 3. Oh, and there's Ripjaw. Okay, Primal Might. Yeah, I think we'll get rid of something with Primal Might. Get another draw off Ripjaw Raptor. Pretty fantastic when that fight spell replaces itself. Hold back Marauding Raptor, I feel. We're in a pretty good position, but we don't want to be open too much. You never know, they could sneak something. Oh, and there we go. That's what I was talking about. Lovely flame sweep. Let's get it done. As you can see, we really didn't need rotting in this case, but it really does help back up the times that you do get it and helps pull out the win. It's really hard to say. I mean, they have 4 up. They could certainly play Settle the Wreckage, which would be quite devastating. I think we'll be conservative. We'll attack with just a couple. Marauding, Token, Drover. See what happens. Didn't have lethal anyways, but if we get a Driven in Despair, that'll be game for sure. All right, there we go. We did it. Another win. Hard to deal with all that raw power. All right, we'll leave it at that for now, but definitely going to have a bunch more games coming up. I think this is probably one of my most favorite variations, even though it's not a whole lot different from what I'm used to using. Rotting Regisaur, when you do get it, is just such a massive threat to deal with. Driven in Despair, while we didn't get it too often, it is pretty fantastic and sort of provides a little extra value if you only have Otepec, Drover out. Overall, I've been pretty happy with it. Rampaging, as you saw, did some fantastic work, showing off why it's got to stay in the 75. Deathgorge, pretty decent at times. Shifting, Flame Sweep again is pretty great for some of that aggro, like you saw. And overall, yeah, I'm loving it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.